On this episode of Mike Colameco's Real Food, I visit 3 different chefs.
A little rubbery, and that's great. It's a good thing about them.
At Joseph Leonard, Fedora, Jeffrey's Grocery, all within a few blocks of each other in the West Village.
One big deep fried crispy piece of meat on top of that.
Brought together by one man's vision, Gabe Stuhlman.
You blew me away with that.
And then it's back to the kitchen, where I'll show you how to make little neck clams with chorizo, fresh squid, and triggerfish. It's all coming up next. I first met Gabe Stuhlman years back when he was in his mid-20s working at Market Table Restaurant on the floor. These days, he's building his own mini restaurant empire in the West Village, opening 2 hot restaurants in the spate of just a year's time, while remaking a legendary classic in the process. Let's meet Gabe.
Tell me about opening Joseph Leonard, where the name came from, Joseph Leonard, and the concept you wanted behind it.
The name is the first names of my 2 grandfathers. We call ourselves an American bistro. You know, you look up bistro, it always touches base on like a convivial atmosphere, right? A place where the owner is present. Let's have a restaurant that's open all day long, that's always accessible, that has a big menu, that has things that you can eat at any different time of the day. At my other spots, they were places that took reservations, they were booked 4 weeks in advance. So a lot of that led to sort of the ideology behind that decision to not take reservations. When you live in the neighborhood, you're gonna sit there and say, I can just roll down the street to Joseph Leonard, and if there's a wait, I'll put my name on the list and I'm gonna go home and they'll call me when it's ready.
We're gonna head into the kitchen of Joseph Leonard, and it's tiny, so watch your step, watch your head on the way in, and when you get in, we're not gonna get lost. Watch your head, gnarly corner, you don't wanna hit that. We're here with the chef.
How are you?
Thanks for having us.
Welcome,
man.
welcome. Glad to have you in.
Chef, I'm kind of working in kitchens all my life, and I kind of get a sense of what you tell me, how hot is this little corner in the summer?
This little corner of heaven, if you will, is about 135 degrees in the summer. It's our summer weight loss season.
The slim downs, that's right.
Yep, we get in bikini shape in September. By the time the summer's done, we're all ready to go.
One of the signature dishes, been on the menu since day one. I've had it half the time I've been here.
So it's the crispy pork hock, sort of inspired by a couple of dishes that I saw as a young cook.
So it's this 4-quarter from...
It's the forearm basically.
Right.
So that'll brine for 20 hours. Then we'll cover it in pork fat, and then we'll cook it overnight. And what we end up with is this. And this is the confit pork shank, or pork hock as we call it. And then what we'll do is we'll pull these out of the fat, and they get stuck in here pretty good. We'll clean this up a little bit.
Get the fat off of it.
So at this point, we're ready to go into service, and we'll show you how we do that next.
Bingo.
It's warmed up a little bit, so basically all we do is drop it in the fat and walk away. And so we serve it with just a very simple arugula salad. A little salt, a little pepper, very, very simple. Lemon juice, olive oil. And then one big deep fried crispy piece of meat on top of that.
How many covers do you guys do at night on a regular busy night?
On a regular busy night, I think it's between 90 and 110, depending on the night.
3 to almost 4 turns a night.
3 to 4 turns a night.
Insanity, insanity.
It's not insanity, it's actually really smooth. It's just a little smoked trout salad.
Joseph Leonard is busy all day long. You'll always find a crowd here in the small room enjoying the solid cooking at reasonable prices. You may even catch me waiting on a table or 2.
Pork chop 22, burger 21, breakfast 20.
Excuse me. Can I put the sprouts right in the middle? Is that okay?
On second thought, I think I'm better off in the kitchen.
All right, I'll let you go because there's not a whole lot of room for us, so go away. Striped bass 101.
So our filet of striped bass has been boned out. Skin is on. We score it a little bit just so that the skin doesn't curl up. Very, very hot black steel skillet. Fish down and in. So we just hold that down on the pan. Let that start to cook, let that skin start to crisp, and we'll make the sauce. A little bit of butter.
That's a hot pan.
So that gets some pickled apples. When you do this, you want to take it off the fire so that it doesn't flame up on you. We're going to add a little bit of haricot vert into this for the dish. A little bit of chives for garnish. We like to finish them with a little bit of whole butter at the end. So this will brown up nice, help crisp the skin up a little bit.
And it just tastes good.
And it tastes good.
It's just love, man. Butter.
So we'll do this, and then we'll baste the fish. turn our filet over.
Beautiful crisp skin side up.
Beautiful crispy skin, nice and golden brown. Over here, we got a little parsnip puree. So our filet of striped bass. And it gets the haricot verde on top, and this gets a little bit of parsnip chip on the top for a little bit of texture.
Dude, that's a great plate of food. You get crunch from there, crunch from the fish skin, haricot verde on the top, and then you got this parsnip puree that just adds this whole layer of...
It's a great autumn and winter dish.
The success of Joseph Leonard often results in long waits for tables. So when the space directly across the street became available, it just seemed like a prudent business decision to pounce on it. With a different menu format featuring classic seafood platters and great sandwiches.
30, 40 years ago, this place was a grocery. It was
Yeah.
a leather store, a veterinary clinic.
Oh, yeah.
You come in, you sort of gut renovate it, get it back to the look that it had
Oh, yeah.
in the 50s. And then talk about what is this? What is your vision for this? Because it's right across the street from your other place.
So this space, Jeffrey is my father, grocery, because we originally wanted this place to have a little bit more of a grocery feel. We wanted a place that had this very, hustle bustle, casual, like boom boom feel. Now what it's becoming is more of a prepared goods feel, and that's really great because we're understanding what people love and really appreciate about what we're doing.
I'm here with Amy Brown, who's responsible for the kind of the grocery end of it.
Well, this is the market part of the restaurant, and my job is to come in the morning and make fresh baked goods, and then also to use things that we have in our market and our grocery on the shelves.
So what do we have today that you've produced? What was in
Today we
today's
made
menu?
a cheddar and bacon buttermilk biscuit. We make buttermilk biscuits every morning. And we always have an egg dish to offer in the morning. It could be a frittata or a quiche, someone could come in and just grab a piece. It also turns into a lunch. After the pastries are finished, then we move into our lunch service, and so people can come in and maybe grab a bowl of chili with a piece of cornbread for lunch, or Brussels sprouts and sriracha here are like our #1 seller.
That's Brussels. So you roast them and then toss them in sriracha?
Yes, yes.
The other thing with Jeffrey's is all up in this cup. I appreciate a very affordable cup of coffee. Since when has coffee had to get to the point where you're paying $2.50 for drip coffee? We have Stumptown Coffee here. We sell cups, just like my old bodega, Greek to-go cups. It's our pleasure to serve you. $1 a cup. Nobody's doing it. We're offering something to the neighborhood that they can't get anywhere else.
A lot of the menu planning in here in general is just very creative and just being organized because of our of lack of space, because of our lack of firepower. We just get creative in our pickups. Right now, winter time, we got a lot of braised meats, things like that, where it's all preparation beforehand, and then we use the oven and just reheat things. So this is the brisket sandwich, by far our most popular sandwich.
We love two things here, sandwiches and raw bar. I love sandwiches. I can eat sandwiches all day long. It is one of my comfort foods. And I love raw bar. I mean, all of it. I love oysters. I love lobster. I love clams, crab claws. Raw bar in this city, to me, often is synonymous with pull out your platinum card because you're gonna spend some money. It's basically priced out of most people's accessibility. We wanted to set out to do a more aggressive, more abundant tower than many other places. We're not the best at it. I'm gonna hands down say, we're not the best at it, but we're gonna try to be really good at it, and we wanted to charge less for it.
So tell me about what you're going to make here. You're going to make sort of the big oyster platter for us?
Yes, the Royal Plateau.
The Royal Plateau,
It's a,
right?
it's a 3-tier plateau that has everything we got. 18 different oysters, Alaskan king crab legs, whole lobster, stone crab claws.
Hope you guys are hungry. Sounds like we're
It's
eating.
got some top neck clams, some scalloped crudo. It works.
I haven't had breakfast, so this sounds like a good way to start the day to me.
These are the Fanny Bays. They're from Washington, and I don't think they're as quite as creamy as Kumamoto's. West Coast oysters tend to be more buttery and just thick and meaty. Let me show you guys this one. Nice, clear,
beautiful.
crisp. No hiding the flavors.
Right. Perfect. Joseph Leonard, bang, right off the bat, get-go. Jeffries, coming along right across the street. Then Fedora comes up, man. This is this iconic. I mean, when you walk down West 4th, it's like that movie theater sign. It's those big red neon letters, Fedora. Same owners for years. I really want to hear that backstory. Because that's this like hallowed ground in a neighborhood where people really respect those kinds of traditions.
Fedora Dorado is the namesake operator. Her father-in-law, Charles Dorado, bought that building and built a bar there called Charlie's Garden in 1917. When it finally got to the point when she was ready to retire, somehow they heard about us. It was really important to them to have somebody in their space that they trusted, that they felt would respect and honor the history and the heritage. We got this cold call, and all of a sudden I'm going to look at a new space. Said, all right, we're gonna go look at it. If it's anything short of magical, we pass. Because we got our hands full. Well, it's magical. It most certainly is a magical space. And opportunities like this do not present themselves often.
So we're in the corner of West 4th and 10th, which like makes no sense. These streets are supposed to be 6 blocks apart in parallel. Welcome to my neighborhood, the West Village. And we were gonna do the shoot today, and I got some juice with the mayor, so I called up Bloomberg. I said, hey, Mikey, do me a favor. Shut the block for us, okay? We got the police on horseback. We got the block closed. We're good to go.
Fernando, come on. That's the crisp duck leg. It comes with a barbecue sauce, a little bit of roasted vegetables, medjool dates, and a little bit of herbs on top. You're going to VIP, duck leg 16, beef sandwich 17, Brussels sprouts share. On our appetizer side, this is our cured mackerel. It's with an avocado mousse, homemade crushed barbecue chips, a little bit of sriracha to finish, and pickled shallots and some fresh scallions. Take the mackerel to 12. All right.
Talk a little bit about where you're from in Canada, where you work, because Pied Cochon's so cool, and we can get into that story a bit.
So I was in Montreal for the last 12 years of my life, and at Pied Cochon for the last 4, with Martin Picard.
I remember the first time I came here, I called up Gabe, said, I want to come in. He said, yeah, man, come into the bar, you know. And he said, what do you want to eat? I said, just feed me, man. So I didn't look at the menu, and he said, okay, how about this, this, and this? And I think the main course might have been the egg and a hole. It just stopped me in my tracks, and I've wanted that dish again and again and again ever since.
It's a little addictive, and it's also very familiar for many people with tripes, which is not so
right. You got the tripe working already. That's the braised that's been cooked.
Now it's ready to go. It's seasoned, very tomatoey.
Brioche? No,
This is just a sourdough Pullman that I get from Sullivan Bakery. It's awesome. All right, off it goes in the pan.
The bread's a great sponge for the sauce. Like I devoured the plate.
Exactly, and that is a great sauce. So from that point, we're just gonna fire it in the oven a little bit.
All right,
This
we like the way the egg looks. Take a close up of that.
So it's pretty wobbly, it's great, but we're gonna cook it a little more because we're gonna add some cheddar right now. This is old good Vermont cheddar.
Yes, Vermont cheddar.
So like this, and up to the salamander. All right, so let's start like that. Okay, ready to plate. Some arugula, some olive oil, pinch of salt, and pepper.
Looks beautiful. That's sick, man.
Awesome.
You blew me away with that. You became like my friend with that dish.
Once a week.
I think I need them.
This is red cockerel, fried chicken, a little bit of sushi rice, some pickled cucumbers, a little bit of mustard greens.
And red cockerel is the species of bird, for those that don't know.
Exactly.
It's a great chicken. I buy them all the time.
That other ticket is beef tartare Brussels. You got a whole bunch of beef tartares. All right, this is filet mignon. It's a beef tartare. It's got a little bit of fresh tobacco. It's got a sriracha mayonnaise underneath, a little bit of micro arugula, and then this is a crunchy rice.
You've got a couple things in the menu tonight that are specials. We're going to demo one. Talk to me a little bit about this dish.
We got some whelk we're gonna make like a warm salad with sunchokes with a crispy soft-boiled egg.
And for people that don't know well, those are those shells that you see tossed up onto the shore. They're
Absolutely.
about yay big. They're kind of like a giant sea snail that lives inside that shell and moves around.
These ones are the more common ones, a little smaller.
Okay.
So the whelks, we cook them in their shell, for 45 minutes.
And then directly onto the plancha where they're going to get grilled. Pick up a little flavor.
They're a little rubbery, and that's great. It's a good thing about them. But if you leave them too long to grip on the plancha, they get a little leathery. That's not cool. Just like that. So basically the warm whelks, just like this. We put them in. And it puts also lots of vegetables in there, lots of crunch.
Scallion?
Yeah, little scallions, just like kind of bâtonnet kind of stuff. More kind of herbs, dill, parsley leaves. A little baby red mustard, they're really good. Lemon, olive oil here. I got a bit.
Red wine. So tell me what's in this
It's
again.
red wine sauce. It's like
Reduced red wine with.
yeah, it's produced with wine with root vegetables, and to accompany this, we got a fried egg here. So little zest. So about ready to go here. Let's spoon this down.
So panko crumbs on a soft-boiled egg. Yolk's going to be still runny.
I can take it, maybe even with your fingers, just cracking it up on top. So a little more sauce, more olive oil, lots of pepper. That's all, like that.
Great plate, man.
Please come back.
Piece of cake. I love this about New York. Here's a kid who gets inspired by a restaurant gig in his college days in Wisconsin. And now, in his early 30s, has assembled a great team including many of those Wisconsin expats. In the process, he's put together a mini restaurant empire in the West Village.
To Manolo!
Gabe Stuhlman's got it going on. I mean, this kid's like 31 years old, and he's like the new mayor of Greenwich Village, restaurant-wise. I love the guy. You know, Wisco kid, God bless him. So the last place we ended up was Fedora, where we've got that wonderful chef, Meta, from Pied Cochon, Canada, who cooks with these crazy cuts. I mean, he's known for the whole heads of tail stuff. He loves pork. So I'm gonna mix up pork and seafood because it works so beautifully. And the dish is gonna be really simple. Made this for dinner last night. I know it works. This is triggerfish. This comes from down south. It'll come up into our waters as our waters get warm. It's a wonderful fish. It's a local fish, super healthy, super sustainable, super delicious. Let me start with two things that I'm gonna need, and the first is garlic. We like garlic. I love lots of parsley in these dishes. It's just kind of lightens everything up, so I always make too much parsley. And the next thing I'm gonna do is just cut the squid up. We're just gonna cut it into little rings. And this is a chorizo sausage. And last but not least, this is a thing called face bacon. It's a bacon made from a boneless head of pork. All right, believe it or not, that was the hard part of this meal. Now we're gonna cook it, and in real time, this is gonna take, I don't know, 7-8 minutes. Meet me at the stove. Got 2 pans on the stove. We've kind of got them preheated. We'll see in a second. All right. So go in with the chorizo, just get it all face down, get that bacon spread out and let that render a little bit. We're gonna add garlic now. Without any further ado, little neck clams. Get a little of that liquid in the pan and a lid. All right, we're gonna season our fish. We don't have to go crazy because we're gonna have clam juice in this dish. Clam juice is a little bit, well, clam juice is salty. One hint when you're sauteing foods, side that goes down first is the side you're gonna serve up to the customer. Restaurant chefs, line cooks all know this. So in the case of fish, it's not the skin side, it's the flesh side. This is the skin side, that's where the skin got peeled off. We want the flesh side, so the flesh side is gonna go down in the pan first because that's what's going up. Pan's hot, you can hear that. We're going to check our clams and see if any of them have opened yet. Always a couple of stubborn ones. All right, 2 of the clams aren't open, but that's all right, they will.
In the meantime, we're going to add the squid to this pan, which is also going to contribute some moisture. And one of the keys with cooking squid, the squid's going to cook super fast. When you're cooking squid, the deal is with squid is you either cook it for 2 minutes or an hour. Everything in between it turns like rubber. So squid's either eaten as a quick saute or as a slow braise. So if you've ever had squid at home before and you wonder why it's chewy, you cooked it in that in-between distance. I'm going to flip my fish, so I've got a little spatula here. All right, let's see if those last 2 clams open and we'll show you what squid looks like when it's cooked. Yeah, see, I told you this would happen. I've done this before. Now we're going to just put these clams back in to get them up to temperature and use this sauce. We're going to add some chopped parsley. And I love a squeeze of lemon juice just because lemon, the acidity in lemon has a way of just cleaning up flavors. All right, let's plate the fish. All right, my fish I know is cooked. Got a nice big plate. I love this fish. So what I smell now is it's clammy, it's porky, it's kind of bacony. It smells really good, basically. How can you go wrong? What I'm doing here is just reducing the extra cooking liquid, because I don't want it to be too soupy. I want it to be a little more sauce-like, a little thicker. We're just going to hit it with some olive oil and create a little emulsion. So now I've got this liquid, the consistency that I want, less soupy, more sauce-like, great flavor components, just all the natural juices that were in the pan. This is the kind of food I make all the time at home. Like literally this was last night's dinner and it takes 10-15 minutes. It's like no time at all. Kudos to Gabe and his crew, all the Wisco team, all the New York team, all the guys that are making Joseph Leonard, Fedora, Jeffrey's Grocery, all those places of successes. These guys really have it going. They get hospitality, they get food, they're young, they're stoked to be doing what they're doing. And I love the fact that Fedora, an institution in my neighborhood, ended up in great hands. So give them love. Take care, folks. We'll be back next week with more.